PK52 Saturday morning meeting, second series on the TRD four-wheel drive off-road package, $38,000 truck. Again, we talked earlier about the financing part of the truck, 72% retained value right now currently with Tacomas, and that's all Tacomas. So anything with this kind of equipment on there is going to bring a premium when the customer sells it themselves or trade back in on maybe upgrading to a Tundra. The suspension is where we really need to start. So if you listen to the riders out there, I mean, every rider out there is trying some way, somehow to hate the Tacoma. They really want to go into this thing and find something wrong with it. This is not an off-road race truck. This is not ready for the Baja. But at the end of every article, if you'll just skip through the original part of their banter that means nothing at all, complaining about the 3.5 liter, even though it's 278 horsepower and it's a power pack, it drives like a car, it gets on the highway, it gets great gas mileage. Once they finally get into the end of it, they start talking about the off-road ability of this truck, then they can't deny it. They can't say anything negative because it is the best compact mid-sized truck ever made on the road ever, and probably will never be surpassed by anybody else. The Honda Ridgeline, I'm here, nothing. Canyon, Colorado, nothing. And the Nissan Frontier, best article I've ever read in my life that said the last time they changed the Frontier was the first year they had round tires. So again, you know, what do we have to compete against? But let's talk about it. First of all, we have a great suspension, a high-tracking A-arm suspension. What that does is it makes the wheel travel vertically. Anytime you have a strut, you have camber of the wheel, which means the wheels are going to turn. That takes less tread pattern or footprint on the road. Vertically traveling, so I drive up in the air, I slam down. As the suspension compresses, I don't get camber of the tires, so that's going to give me a lot more tread on the road, which is going to make it an off-road capable truck. Then we do Bilstein shock front and rear. Just a gas-powered shock that's designed for high repetition. The problem with a normal shock on an off-road truck, even on a washboard-type dirt road, the repetition of a shock could overheat a shock and it could cause shock failure. You know, brake failure where brakes don't work, shock failure where all of a sudden your shocks are so hot they diminish their use. Well, Bilsteins are designed to be able to maximize repetition and not lose that the aggressive shock absorber type situation in their off-road. So it's in a nutshell, it is made for off-road capacity. In the front, we use a coil over. That means the coil is over the shock, which gives you one contact point. And a lot of times when you build an off-road truck, on the highway, you'll have a little bit of vibration at a certain mile per hour. I had a guy one time tell me in his Chevrolet, about 45 miles an hour, it starts to vibrate. And I said, well, what do you do about that? He goes, well, I don't drive 45 miles an hour. And I've said this for years. What if a Tacoma vibrated at 45? Can you imagine the line in our service department and the recall demand by every newspaper and every article out there? You see, we build a flawless truck for customers that expect flawless. Going to the rear suspension, I love this. The rear suspension, in a mindset, is kind of like a defensive end that staggers their feet because you have a better base when your feet are staggered. So one of the shocks runs this way, the other shock runs this way. So when you're turning or you have lateral motion on the truck, the shocks oppose each other, and what that does is stabilize the rear end of the truck. Most of the time, the rear end is an empty shell, no weight back there, so that stabilization really, really helps. And we got a progressive rate leaf spring setup in the back that's over around 1,200 pounds of payload in all the truck lineup we have in Tacoma. So we got a very versatile suspension system off-road, so you can take the vehicle off-road. Again, if you're really looking to do some articulation and do some rock climbing and everything, hey, there's shops out there that can take your Tacoma to the next level, but there has to be a break point for Toyota. How much technology do I put in the truck versus how much money can I put in the bottom of a Monroney label? So it's a trade-off. I can do more and more and more and make this so standalone that nobody can top it. And then all of a sudden I'm at $40,000, $45,000, $47,000, $48,000, and you kill your buyer's market. So we're pressing the cusp or the upper part of these off-road enthusiasts by putting what they need for great off-road characteristics. Again, if you're really a hardcore extremist, then you know that you're going to have to modify any single truck to get to the next level. But here's the deal. If you're going to modify, why don't you start with the one that has beast mode written all over it? Real quick, engine, power plant. We went to the 3.5, smoother operation, a better performing high-end vehicle. The torque ratio is basically the same as the 4-liter, so you gave up nothing and you added performance and you added gas mileage, and you added a quieter ride, so when you're not off-road, then you have a comfortable Lexus-like cabin inside. Then the suspension, the transmission, and we've always used this, electronically controlled transmission with intelligence. With this truck, it's going to mirror the shift patterns of the main driver. If you're one of those people that run late to work and you're weaving in and out of traffic on and off the accelerator, it's going to tighten up the shift pattern for the transmission to give you that performance drive mode. If you drive real lazily, you go to work, you're cruising, you never really change gears, longer shift pattern for better gas mileage. So it does that just by repetition on the transmission. If you're buying the truck to work out of, you pull a 5,000-pound trailer, which is nothing for this truck. The suspension is going to handle that. Then the transmission is going to communicate with the engine, with the wheel speed sensor, and it's going to make a shift point modification for that 5,000-pound trailer back there. You know, once you quit using the truck, you take the trailer off, sell it to somebody else, it'll remodify itself. So when we say we're the longest lasting trucks on the road, it's not like that Chevrolet commercial where they say longest lasting trucks on the road. After they put a brand new engine in there, they bought an AutoZone. After they put a Jasper rebuilt transmission in there, we're the longest lasting truck or car company, truck company, van, SUV company on the road with the original components that came on the vehicle. So, bigger than life, suspension, engine production, and transmission. In the next series, we're going to go right into what Toyota did to increase the value to $38,000 of this truck. PK52, the Saturday Morning Meeting.